What's up, guys? Steel Ovan here. In case you were wondering how I did that super cool triple middle finger flip off, it's like this from the back. Anyhow, that's my favorite way to greet my friends. They all love it. Anyway, today's a random video. Basically, I wanted to talk about kind of knife shows in general, and just kind of ramble about where I'm at in the knife hobby at the moment. Figured I'd throw out some cool knives, play with them. I'm liking this backdrop. It kind of matches my channel colors, so we'll be chilling here in the fallout shelter and talking blades. But pretty much, I went to the New York Custom Knife Show a couple weeks ago, and I don't know quite what I was expecting. Basically, I learned about it from the old, original knife YouTube guys. Basically, it's Tough Thumbs, Gavco, Terra Fanatic, and the Wieners and Steel guys, I think is the main way I found out about it, because I really like those guys' stuff, and used to watch a whole bunch of them. I mean, still do, a lot of them don't post anymore. So that's where I found out about it, and they talked it up a lot. So I kind of went into it with maybe a little higher expectations than I should have. Don't get me wrong, it was still a cool show, but it just wasn't quite what I was expecting. And maybe that's just where I'm at in the knife hobby at the moment. I know this is a little bit after when the show was, so it may no longer be relevant. But I figured I would talk to you guys. Maybe you guys will get a little bit of insight, at least to where I'm at in the knife hobby and how I feel about shows that I've been to. So pretty much I went down there, wound up going down there. This year they swapped it to one day only. In the past it's been, I think, Friday and Saturday, and this year it was only on Saturday. So basically drove down to New York. It was a couple hour trip from me to get to their venue. It was in this big hotel. Can't remember the name. It's not the Waverly. That's down in Atlanta. But anyhow, big hotel up on the third floor. All lined up. I got in I bought the early bird kind of equivalent ticket. I forgot what they call it. But in hindsight, I think if I ever go again, they have a firefighter, EMS, law enforcement, military discount. You get in for free, basically. You just have to show your government ID. So that's definitely what I'm going to be doing next year. I don't think it's worth me paying the money to go next year. Actually, that's not true. I would still pay for it, but since I don't have to, I really appreciate that, so I'd probably take advantage of that next time. Anyhow, so I got in there, the doors opened at 9 or whatever, and basically it was the overall size of the show. It was probably about half the size, square footage wise, of the local knife show that I go to. The vendors and stuff there there's not a lot of them, but the venue is much bigger, so there's much more room to spread out. This one, it seemed pretty crowded. There was a lot of people, at least in the initial couple hours, and the aisles were pretty tight, so you're kind of elbowing your way, well, not actually, but you're kind of elbowing your way around the tables to try to look at everything, to see what's for sale. Like I said, I'd never been there. I didn't know if there were first come stuff, Blade Show, that everybody's trying to rush to. I figured it would probably mostly be lotteries, but honestly, I didn't know. So I did my initial couple run, walked around to at least get eyes on all the tables, and pretty much, I don't know. I didn't wind up buying anything at New York Custom Knife Show. And you may be wondering, what's wrong with you? Why the heck didn't you? But no, I couldn't, with the parameters that I have set and where I'm at with what I'm looking for in this hobby, Nothing was there that was worth me spending the money on. So I guess I'll talk about kind of what I saw there. Pretty much, there was several different things that I saw. There was not a lot, but there was a fair number of foreign and Chinese-made manufacturers there. I think it was like Reich, and I forget some of the other ones. He makes the Raiden knife, not Lum, not Loomer. I don't know. Anyway, a bunch of Chinese manufactured, like kind of OEM knives, which you see a lot these days. There's just a lot of them out there. And personally, that is not interesting to me. I'll keep it quick, but pretty much the gist of it is, I don't like to support the Chinese government. If you're spending money with Chinese companies, you're indirectly supporting the Chinese government. Whether you like it or not, that's how much control they have over their citizens. So, and I also, as controversial as it may seem, I love America. I live in America. I'm an American, and I'm proud of my country, despite its many shortcomings. Let's not pretend we're perfect here. But I'm aware of our shortcomings, but I still want to support the country that I'm a part of. So I would rather support guys like myself, craftsmen in the U.S. So therefore, I try to spend my hard-earned money to other guys in the United States. That's just where I'm at. Your opinion, mileage, totally can vary. I don't care. But that's just where I'm at. So those guys at the show basically didn't really interest me at all. There also were a lot of, how do I put it? I guess they're just dealers, but they're guys that are selling knives they're overpriced. They're either bought somewhere and then they're trying to flip them to make a profit off of them. They bought them on the secondary and are trying to flip them to make a profit off them. Basically, they're just selling knives in order to make a profit off them, which I don't know what your opinions are on that, good or bad. Personally, I don't want to spend well over what something should cost, okay? So in certain situations, I have spent a little bit over what I should have because I knew it's something that does not come up often, and so I weighed that and chose to spend a little bit over maybe what it was worth because I wanted it that bad. However, just at this show, the caliber of stuff that they had was just not what I was interested in. Like, for example, there was, like, maybe if there was some reasonably priced, like, Emerson knives or something, maybe I could have been enticed into one of those because I'm kind of a sucker for Emerson design knives despite their, spotty fit and finish. But, like, the only Emerson knives I saw there were hand-engraved Emerson knives. So they were just, like, a production CQC8 signed with an engraver by Ernest Emerson, and the dealer was selling it for, like, $800. $800. You can buy a CQC8 or whatever for, like, probably, like, 3 absolute max, like, overspending like a boss. So that and, like, custom Emerson knives, which in my opinion, basically you buy them at Blade Show or another show for $850 from Ernest himself if you win his lottery, and then guys go and flip them for like $1,400 and up, which is freaking stupid. And that's how much they costed all the dealers at, say, New York Custom Knife Show. So that's right there. It's just kind of like, do you want to take a bath for the sake of buying a new knife? I don't know. I have a hard time doing that, at least personally, and I saw a fair amount of it at this show. Another thing that I saw at this show was a lot of, I'm going to call them art knives. So basically like mirror polished, like hand-rubbed satin frames. The whole thing is engraved, gold inlays, scrimshaw, Damascus, way, way, way over the top. Not designed to be tools, but designed to be art. And I kind of appreciate those, but not nearly to the same degree as I do something that's able to be used like as a functional tool and also has some design interest and some elements to it that I like. So I don't know. Just to me, that isn't super interesting. Those like super crazy high end scrimshod. I'm not sure quite. I don't want to generalize, but I feel like the clientele for those are like rich old dudes who have way too much money to spend and just kind of buy expensive knives for the sake of them being expensive. Which, I don't know, I am guilty of that to some degree. Like, who the hell needs a, $1,600 plus Sharp by Design custom arch nemesis? But it's not like not to the same level. Like some of these knives are like tens of thousands of dollars. Like they pay $2,000 and up is what these guys are charging. Most of them are like 3, 4, 5. It's ridiculous. And so I went into the show before I go to any show. I guess I'm getting a little off base here. Basically, when I went to New York, I looked at all the dealers, and the only guy like maker that I saw that like really really appealed to me is the Shark Knife Co. I forget his name. Not Iglesias. Gosh darn it, my memory is so bad. Anyway, Shark Knife Co. makes some really high quality USA made CNC custom knives, which is what I really like. I really like that. So I went to see his stuff. However, he only had some of those little, I forgot the name of them. Basically, Koenig makes a Goblin, or they made a Goblin, which is the same design. This is the custom version of the Koenig Goblin. I guess would be the Shark Knife Co. Goblin. But anyhow, he had some of those for sale, and it just wasn't a design that I liked. It was too small. And that brings me to another part of this New York show. It was a few, USA-made custom knife makers. All of their knives they were selling were for lottery, so you had to stick around the whole day and hope that someone, you got drawn. Often they were like open bid, so you'd have to place a bid, and they were in the thousands of dollars. Just the clientele and the level of money that was at this show was well outside my comfort zone. For instance, the Shark Knife Co., I think it was a Waka model. He'd made a really nice custom one, and he had that as an open bid. And that's like a knife I would buy if it was like a first come first serve or potentially a lottery system with a fixed, $1,200 price if you won the lottery. But this was an open bid, and when I left the show, I think the bid price was about $8,000. No, it was a straight $8,000 and was climbing. $8,000 is ridiculous for what this knife was. It was a beautiful knife, but in all seriousness, other Waka knives that he'd made, I think were in the like $2,000 to $3,000 on the secondary. I don't know what the maker price is from him. So that was another thing is that just crazy open bid custom knife pricing makes no sense and is crazy. And I'm guilty of it. I've done some of it myself, but just at this New York Custom Knife Show, I just kind of, I don't know, it kind of hit me in a different way. I was just like, geez, guys, what are we doing here? So that was one part of it. Another thing, all those custom, USA made knife makers, I'm not going to name any names or anything. A lot of their models are freaking tiny. Like they'll have like a 3-inch blade. So like this is a Holt haptic, and this is a pretty small knife for me. I don't know exactly what the blade length is and handle and whatnot, but this is like the biggest knife some of these guys make. The absolute max biggest. So I don't know. That didn't interest me at all. Like I don't need to spend $1,500 to $2,000 on a tiny little custom knife. I have plenty of expensive custom knives that are like more in my size, just size that I like, and I even have some in that size. So why would I need to buy more? You know. So I don't know. Basically, this is all just kind of the reasons that I saw at the show that kind of led me to not actually find anything that I wanted to buy. Basically, it's my own self-imposed rules for purchasing knives and to add to my like collection or my rotation or whatever you want to call it. But one thing I did take away from the show, and I would like to pass on to you guys, is so you can go to these shows and you can do what I did. You can walk around all of the tables. You can scour the entire show. You cannot find something you want to buy. But guess what? The absolute 100% coolest knives at any knife show, they're going to be in collectors' pockets and in collectors' backpacks. So I'm telling you, if you go to a knife show, go around and talk to other collectors and make some friends and see what other guys are carrying. Because the absolute coolest knives that I've seen, both at Blade Show and at New York Custom Knife Show, they were in other guys' pockets. So like there was a guy that had just as an example, he had a Hinderer Project X, but it was I think it was a card series maybe, or I forget which variant it was, but it basically had like wormy maple scale that was distressed, and the whole frame, blade, everything was like battle worn. It was the Battlefield pickup, but it was like a special edition. That thing was so cool. That was one of the cooler knives I saw. I also saw some like custom Demcos, and I saw another VC Edge, which I have one of those too. But that thing was getting a lot of attention, and rightfully so. Totally wicked. But basically, my takeaway is, if you want to see some freaking awesome stuff at, first off, Blade Show or any other knife show, ask around and make some friends and see what other people are carrying. Knife guys are great. They love showing off what they have, because usually they've worked hard to get them, either spending money or like the difficulty to track them down and find them and actually get them. So we're always, excited and willing to show the things that, we enjoy and we like, just like what I'm doing now, just playing with knives, talking about knives. It's kind of what we eat, sleep, breathe. And so that's definitely something, if you're going to go to a show, to keep in mind. One other, I guess I'll try to wrap it up here. One other little thing is, as I've been dabbling in making knives, this is just an example, not even a very good example, I've found it more difficult to buy fixed blade knives unless it can offer something that I can't recreate, which might seem kind of crappy, but I don't know. I would rather spend my time and energy trying to like improve my skills and try to like make something similar, but that's also my own and my own handiwork, than to pay money to somebody else. So the only times I don't really buy fixed blades anymore, I try to make them. And if I were to buy a fixed blade, I think it would have to offer something, a skill set or a process that was so outside of what I'm able to do or could be able to do. I think that's one of the main allures to folders for me at the moment, is because at the moment that's something unattainable that I will never be able to make. I will most likely will never learn CNC and be able to make something to that level of precision, and to design something of that, that caliber or scale. So I don't know, something else that just kind of, once again, that really narrows the pool of knives that I'm looking to maybe buy or acquire or really have a ton of interest in. At least when it comes to walking around shows and that kind of thing. All right, well, I have spouted here for 20 minutes. If you're still here, congratulations. You're a true knife nerd. You're one of us. And hopefully this is somewhat entertaining. Please let me know in the comments if you're still here. What has your experience has been at knife shows? Have you learned anything, seen anything? Your mileage completely varies from mine, probably, and we also probably have some of the same, experience some of the same things. So let me know down in the comments any questions, comments, tips, tricks, stuff you found, and maybe what your favorite knife show is that you've been to. All right, hopefully you guys have a good day, and we'll see you later.